So can you just give an overview about the game, just for anyone that hasn't?
Yeah, definitely. So Total Warhammer 2 is part of a trilogy in the Total Warhammer. So first one came out last year. There's the second part. And this one, it's much more of a narrative campaign. So you're fighting for the Vortex. There's 4 other factions: Skaven, Lizardmen, High Elves, Dark Elves. All of these factions want control of the Vortex. So unlike a standard Total War game, it's much more sandboxy. This one gives you a kind of narrative element to follow and a kind of challenge to constantly overtake and so on. So you can still play it in a sandbox way, but there's this narrative thread you can continue where it has a kind of epic conclusion at the end. And that way the AI can beat you to it as well, so you can lose a campaign even if you have quite a vast, powerful empire. And it's one of those easiest Total Wars to ever get into. We've got a completely redefined tutorial system, kind of help new players. We've worked with companies to help us, learn better on what new players want to learn in a Total game, and that's why it's a really good one to jump into if you've never played Total before.
So you would say that this is a really good one for, like, if I had never played the first one or I wasn't familiar with the genre at all, this is like the perfect place to jump in.
Absolutely brilliant place to jump in right now. We've worked a lot on the UI elements of the game as well. There's a lot there. We're dealing with not only the battles, but this vast campaign to deal with. So you might start small, but you're going to eventually end up with about hundreds, well, not hundreds, but possibly in more empires. But you can deal with lots and lots and lots of cities, lots of armies, and you have to micro that every single turn. That can become overwhelming to a lot of people who've never played before, but we've streamlined the system. You can show kind of what information you want to see and what you don't. Really just cleared it up and made it completely less cluttered and so more easy to use. And even as a veteran player like myself, I find it so easy to just turn off a load of things so I don't even get notifications. It's up to me when I end a turn, for example.
Yeah, it did seem really intuitive. Like, I've never actually played any of the games before, and within 5 minutes I was starting to understand what's going on. So it looked like there's a lot of like city building and base building and like politics. Is that, so for someone that's not used to is that a new thing, or is that always been a staple?
Always been there. I mean, we've always had diplomacy, we've always had trade, and then we've also, on top of that, always had the kind of like city building element and the empire building. Everything works in tandem. You need them together, and then that kind of building. A battle in Total War means something only because it has the campaign to go along with it. Fine, you can go make a quick battle or multiplayer battles and play those, but there's something more important about a battle which means something on the campaign map. And that's what puts it all together, ties it all together. That little knot together. It's really that's what makes a Total War game a Total War game.
Seems like it's a more meaningful campaign than just an RTS or like a Civilization type of game or something.
Oh, in a Civilization game, for example, I love Civilization games. One of my favorite games. I've lost too many hours in my life to that.
Same here.
The battles are kind of, they're a bit static, but there's this one thing in a Total War game is having these, everything comes down to one battle. And if I lose this battle, I might lose the campaign. Or I might be set back. But then there's also the idea that if I win this battle, opens up a whole wide new territory that I can capture and conquer. And there's kind of a desperation feel sometimes when you're fighting against the odds. This kind of like, Helm's Deep kind of moments, that kind of like you're surrounded, you're fighting off like waves upon waves of enemies. And you don't get that as such in other strategy games.
You definitely don't.
And that's what makes Total War overall unique, let alone the fact that we're now in like one of the most established fantasy franchises in the world in Warhammer.
That helps a lot. What is the biggest new thing to this game? Like new feature?
Well, obviously in Total Warhammer 2, the Vortex campaign narrative and that kind of racing for completion there, but in a week from now we're releasing Mortal Empires, which is this massive free update for Total Warhammer 2 and 1. If you own both of those games, you basically get given this massive campaign map, the biggest sandbox map we've ever had, and you can play from a new world in Warhammer 2, the old world in Warhammer 1, with all the races, all the Legendary Lords from all the DLCs and all the major factions, and you have this massive map. And you can literally lose days of time. Like we're talking about like Civilization and stuff like that, and they have a lot of time you're going to throw into that. But this map is humongous, and you're going to be playing that for a long, long time. And you get the options to play, all the Warhammer 1 factions, so like Empire, Vampire Counts, Patonia and Chaos, and then you got the New World faction, Lizardmen, Skaven, High Elves, Dark Elves, and we moved some of the locations over, so some factions start in different places.
Yeah.
It's absolutely a massive sandbox experience, and a load of the UI changes, loads of the kind of like learnings from Warhammer 2, that's been taken into the Mortal Empire, so it feels completely fresh. It feels almost like a completely new game, and we're giving it away for free.
That's awesome. Free is the best price, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Thanks a lot for that.
No problem.
Yeah, it looks awesome, and like I said, it's the first time I've ever played it, and I actually want to get into it.
Give
so
Mortal Empire
that's
to
great.
go, and on top of that, we've also got co-op, which you play as the same factions. We've also got the head-to-head campaigns if you want to play against another human player,
Yeah.
which is really hard. Because beating an AI is one thing, but beating a human player is so much more satisfaction,
better.
but a lot harder. And then obviously we've got free-for-all and custom battles. So there's other ways to play other than just a single-player sandbox experience.
Yeah.
What that?
It seems like an awesome value, and there's a ton.
It's going to, if you're looking at money spent for time that you get from it,
Yeah.
that's what video games are great for.
Yeah.
Go see a movie, 2 hours. Go see a film, 3 hours. Play a video game, it could be months. I'm playing games now that I got a year ago, but I'm still playing every night, pretty much. I mean, the bang for your bucks in our games are just amazing.
Definitely. Cool. Stay tuned for more.